Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the October 15th edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Sierra Moore, and I'll tell you why some big projects are causing big concerns.
The State Fair is here. I'm Susan Tarr, and I'll tell you just how safe you'll be.
In sports, we have the soccer edition of the Battle of the Blues.
Weathercaster Laura Pagano will tell us whether it's time to retire our flip-flops and pull out some warmer clothes.
All that and students racing through traffic legally. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Carla Babb.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thank you for joining us. Construction can be loud, annoying, and sometimes dangerous. Reporter Sierra Moore joins us from Carroll Hall. And Sierra, this construction it has been an ongoing issue, hasn't it?
It has, Adam, and many students and faculty are voicing concerns about the construction. They say they hate the noise, but the big issue is the possible health effects associated with removing old building material. Carroll Hall hasn't been the same since two new construction projects got underway: the Haynes Classroom renovations and the Science Complex Phase 2 Cedarson addition. These projects will improve the structures of the buildings and add a new science building to the complex. But the extensive renovations have some students in Carroll Hall concerned about their learning environment.
When it's really loud, it's just, I can't think, I can't concentrate.
And the noise isn't the only concern. The potential health problems have teachers like Chris Roush asking questions.
The fact is whether the asbestos or any of the other hazardous chemicals are being sucked into our air vents in this building and we're breathing them.
Deputy Commissioner for North Carolina's Division of Occupational Safety and Health, Alan McNeely, says this is a possible problem.
Most old buildings have it, past 60 or 70 years, everything was built with it because it was such a good product. But now that we're remodeling and doing things, it's a dangerous situation.
The Environmental Protection Agency says prolonged exposure to high levels of asbestos can lead to lung, chest, and abdominal cancer. McNeely says it would be hard for asbestos from these projects to really affect the public because of the low level of concentration.
Most of the time that's confined. As you tear asbestos, it becomes friable, becomes loose, and it's inhaled. And if you're inside, it's a whole lot worse than if you were outside.
But he says if there's an active vent from Venable to Carroll, it could raise the risk of asbestos contamination.
But I would assume, and this is a big assumption on our part, that the general contractor would be doing things right and would seal up areas that would go to other buildings.
Director of Construction Management Sid Stone said there's no reason to be concerned. He says they safely seal off all rooms when dealing with asbestos.
So Sierra, what are the faculty and contractors doing to assure the asbestos won't affect the public?
Well, Adam, the Facilities Department and other groups are meeting Thursday to discuss the options to safely deal with the removal of asbestos.
All right, Sierra Moore live in Carroll Hall. Thank you.
There are new developments in the pit driver case. On March 3, 2006, Mohammed Tahir plowed through the pit in an SUV, injuring 9 people. In June, Tahir told the court he would plead guilty to 18 felony charges. But now, the public defender says the 24-year-old UNC graduate will plead not guilty by reason of insanity. The public defender will have to prove Tahir didn't know the difference between right and wrong, and that he couldn't control himself during the pit attack. UNC is 218 years old, and people spent Friday celebrating. The University Day events began with donuts under Davy Poplar and ended with a dedication of the FedEx Global Education Center. Faculty, students, and other members of the public came to Memorial Hall to hear a speech from history professor Michael Hunt and to see the presentation of Distinguished Alumni Awards.
Municipal elections are coming up and officials are making sure everything's ready. Members of the Orange County Board of Elections tallied up mock ballots Saturday to make sure everything adds up before Election Day. Those who came to the public demonstration in the Hillsborough office asked questions about election results, voting, and more. The board says equipment and electronics are in working order and should be ready for Election Day on November 6th.
The State Fair is attracting huge crowds. Reporter Susan Tard is at the fairgrounds enjoying the food and the fun. But several people were injured at amusement parks this summer, and that doesn't seem to be keeping people off the rides this fall. Right, Susan?
That's right, Carla. And one of those injuries was on a ride just like this one, where you drop straight down. But most people I've talked to have said they trust North Carolina regulations to keep the ride safe.
For just 3 tickets, Beth Woolard got an exciting scare.
It was like really scary. It made my stomach like go in my throat.
The State Fair thrills riders with hair-raising experiences.
I'm like lifting my feet up on the way down, so that way if we hit the bottom, it's like nothing happens.
And nothing should happen, according to Chief Ride Inspector Jonathan Brooks.
We do daily inspections every day, every morning before the midway opens up and the rides open up. We walk around continuously, checking, make sure the operators are operating appropriately.
In fact, the state's regulations are so tight, it's more dangerous to be a ride operator than a rider.
The largest percentages of accidents or incidences that we have are patron-related or operator-related. We have not experienced a mechanical failure in some number of years.
In 2002, a North Carolina State Fair worker died from stepping in the path of a moving amusement device. Brooks brags that North Carolina is the only state with a 100% rule, meaning that all of the manufacturer's requirements must be met before he allows the rides to operate. So no matter how scary the rides feel, Brooks says there's no reason not to come out and enjoy the fair.
I've got 2 small children of my own, and if North Carolina Department of Labor has looked at it and it has a certificate on it, you tell me where you want to ride and when you want to ride, and we'll go ride.
Brooks says the rides are safe only for people who meet the height requirements. Riders should also be sure to read the safety rules posted on the fence outside of each ride. Carla?
That's a great tip. Susan Tart reporting from the State Fair. Thanks, Susan. Well, we all know that people who dance together stay together.
Coming up, we'll take you to a place where folk dancing is keeping a country together.
Those locusts?
What?
Those locusts?
Yeah. I'm throwing rocks at some stuff, and next thing I know, locusts.
Sounds like bad karma. You should try volunteering or walking a little old lady across the street or, you know, something good.
Interesting.
Stay on the universe's good side. Volunteer, vote, get involved.
AIDS has killed more children worldwide than there are in all the grade schools in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Washington, Atlanta, and Miami combined. The time to do something is now.
UNC Chapel Hill offers countless opportunities to travel abroad and learn about other cultures. Our Jen Carpenter visited Macedonia on such a trip and shows us a pastime that's become a source of national pride.
Што стари времења доаѓале разни племења кои сакале да го заробат македонскиот народ. Цели 5 века турците владеа на Балканот.
It's important for my country because we are a very small country. Our dance and song are our trademark in the world.
Регионот од Западна Македонија, Лазарополе, а поготово Орце Николов, сегде победуваме, шампиони на свет.
I hope that you will enjoy it during this show. Have a great time. On the concert, many people came. They saw how the children are happy, singing their music, laughing on their language. For example, laugh on Macedonian is ljubov. On Serbian is something like similar to ljubov, and so on, so on, and so on. Maybe they will change something.
I love to dance because I love my country, I love my culture, and I want all world to know about my country.
As a Macedonian, I love to dance, and I don't know. This is the most beautiful thing for me in this moment.
The team from Macedonia won the title at the Balkan Folk Festival just as members predicted they would.
Efforts to improve the environment might have just become even more important. According to Australian scientists, the concentration of greenhouse gases in the Carolina blue sky and elsewhere around the globe has reached a dangerous level. The scientists didn't expect to see this level of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere for at least another decade. Car exhaust is a major contributor to increasing levels of carbon dioxide. People can feel the effects when allergy seasons grow longer and the temperatures get hotter. But the change in weather didn't stop music lovers from attending an outdoor music festival this weekend. Music and life enthusiasts gathered for the 4-day Shakori Hills Grassroots Festival. The festival brings thousands to a 75-acre farm in Chatham County. More than 60 performing groups and across the country appeared at the event along with arts and craft vendors. The family-friendly fest offered face painting and supervised children's areas. The next Grassroots Festival will be held in April.
The American Humane Association says animal shelters euthanize about 3 million dogs a year. The Orange County Animal Shelter is trying to bring that number down. This past month, 70% of the animals in the shelter were either reclaimed, adopted, or transferred to new facilities. Shelter workers had to euthanize the rest. The shelter will start a community fund next year to help pay for spaying and neutering pets. One dog up for adoption is Chiquita, a 2-year-old Chihuahua. She's a playful pup who loves to do her own thing. She's awfully cute, but she's never too busy for a good hug. She came to the shelter about a week ago, and now she's looking for a new home and to be someone's lifelong companion. For more information about how you can adopt Chiquita or any of the other animals at the shelter, go to our website at carolinaweek.org. And now we're joined by weathercaster Laura Pagano.
Laura, the weather has been absolutely gorgeous this weekend.
And that is true. The weather has certainly been beautiful, especially for those fairgoers. Will the temperatures stay mild, or will we be in for a wild ride? I'll have the details after the break.
Hey man, what's up?
Not a whole lot, man. Just waiting on the bus. How about you?
But you got your bike.
Yeah, so?
How you can do that?
Oh, you can put your bike on the bus. It's easy. I'll show you how.
Oh.
First, pull the rack down. Then, just lift your bike and place the tires in the rack. Finally, lift the lever and snap it into place to hold your bike securely. Chapel Hill Transit, working for you.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Laura Pagano. Well, one thing I can say is that it is beautiful outside. I mean, we are seeing sunny skies with relatively normal temperatures. And should I do a rain dance to get some precipitation to come our way? Possibly not. I'll let you know about that in a few minutes. But as we take a look, we'll see that we have plenty of precipitation in basically the midsection of the country. And as this makes our way Towards the east, we'll get some precipitation for those folks in Texas and all the way into the Chicago area. They're getting plenty of precipitation. But for our area, towards the Raleigh-Durham area, we're going to be seeing that we're going to have plenty in the way of sunshine for the next couple of days. For those folks all the way from the coastal regions all the way to the mountains and even down into Charleston, we are seeing nothing in the way of any clouds for us, at least for the next couple of days. But as we take a look at the surface map, well, there's that low pressure system, and as it tracks its way through over the next couple of days, we're going to be seeing that this precipitation is going to be on the increase for those folks in Texas and possibly up towards the Great Lakes. But as we move towards the Wednesday into Thursday area, we're going to be seeing that this low pressure system is kind of going to be drying out because we have this high pressure system just in advance, and it really just doesn't want to allow us to have any precipitation. And for those folks towards the west, they're seeing fairly dry conditions, which basically means that after this system pushes through, we may not see any precipitation for another week. So we really need to wring out something from this low pressure. So if we take a look at the mountain forecast, for those of you heading towards the mountains Wednesday into Thursday as fall break is heading our way, we're going to be seeing that there's about a 20% chance of rain. This might be on the increase if this system decides to work with the drier air and produce some precipitation. So we're seeing temperatures hovering around the 75-degree mark with the low around 55. So for those of you who are going to be heading into the mountains, you're going to be seeing fairly nice conditions. But for those folks in the beach, you're dealing with more in the way of precipitation since you have that marine environment that you're going to be dealing with. Temperatures are a little bit warmer, but lows aren't too bad. So if you are traveling either towards the mountains or towards the beach, please be careful because we may see slippery roads Wednesday into your Thursday. But for the 4-day forecast, for those of you sticking around for spring, I want to say spring break, but it's fall break, we'll be seeing that temperatures are hovering around 80 degrees, but there is that chance of precipitation for your Wednesday into Thursday. So really, I mean, this is exciting. We're seeing rain in the forecast. I'm really excited about that.
Definitely, and for now, I think we are all going to appreciate the nice, beautiful weather.
That's true.
Absolutely. Laura, thank you.
Have you ever wondered why Franklin Street looks like it does now and why it looked like a different way in the earlier years? This weekend, Chapel Hill Museum opened its new permanent exhibit called Meet Me on Franklin Street. The exhibit will display the largest amount of the area's historic artifacts ever assembled, mostly dating from the 1940s. That includes an old cash register from Julian's, the Olympic torch Professor Chuck Stone carried down Franklin Street, and the first car ever sold here, among other odds and ends from Franklin's vibrant history. And now we're joined by Mark Alexic with our sports update.
And Mark, the football game this weekend just pulled at my heartstrings.
I was just about to say a heartbreaker, to say the very least. But coming up in sports, a great effort against a tough South Carolina just was not enough. But it could be a sign of better things to come.
Hey guys. Ooh, I've been looking for that. Has legal seen this?
Yeah. Cheryl, what happened to your,
Oh, yeah, I know. If it gets any worse, I'll have it checked out.
Worse? How could it get worse?
Yeah, maybe we should call somebody?
I'm fine.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately, because time lost is brain lost.
Pants, pants, pants. I am folding the pants. The pants are long. Do they go on my head? Do they? Do the pants go on my head? No. They go on.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Mark Alexic. On Saturday, the Carolinas had it out on the football field. Unfortunately for the Heels, the smaller Carolina brought the bigger game. South Carolina captured an early lead in the first quarter with this touchdown pass, but UNC tried to close the gap with this 49-yard field goal, but Connor Barth misses it wide left for the first time since 2005. Still in the first quarter, Chris Smelly throws a 30-yard pass for USC's second touchdown of the game. And the Gamecocks started to get a little cocky. But students cheered the Heels into the fourth quarter. As we're about to see, here's TJ Yates running the ball in for the Heels' second but final touchdown. And despite rallying, North Carolina never caught up, falling 21-15.
This football team, I hope they take it as encouragement. These kids are fighting. They are giving great effort. And I have been extraordinarily proud of the way that they've prepared every single week to play well.
The team has a bye week this week, but will head into next week with 5 back-to-back conference games to end the season. Basketball season is in sight. Last Friday was the annual Late Night with Roy exhibition celebration, and our Nick Kane was there for the excitement.
What up, Stewart's got a wicket from Chapel Hill. Booyah! You know Tar Heels are always as cool as the other side of the building.
That's right. UNC alum Stuart Scott was in the building to host the event, which showcased the team's first scrimmage. And the players' dancing skills? The Heels hit the floor during their impressions of Soulja Boy, and the guys even got Coach Williams to bust a move. Yes, that's Bobby Frazier as Frazier Flav with the gorgeous Ginyard by his side.
Dance is fun. You get to be a different person, different character, things like that.
The crowd was in full force, and the boys in blue didn't let the fans down. Doesn't look like Ty Lawson lost a step as he blows past Frazier here for the layup. And with Brandon Wright gone, Alex Stevenson shows he's just the man to fill that position. Danny Green says, anything you can do, I can do better. Hansborough is same old Hansborough as he hits the bucket here and draws the foul. The game was close as Stevenson breaks away to jam this one home for White. The game would end in a tie, but the Heels say the best part was being back in front of the crowd.
The feeling of the crowd just yelling when they call your name is hard to describe in words.
The first game of the season will be an exhibition against Shaw University November 3rd. In Chapel Hill, I'm Nick Kane, Carolina Week Sports.
The men's and women's soccer team hosted arch rival Duke in a doubleheader Thursday night at Fetzer Field. The Lady Heels kicked off the first match in front of a raucous crowd of more than 4,000 people. Whitney Engen put home this goal just 4 minutes into the game to give Carolina the early lead, but Duke's Elizabeth Redmond tied the score on this shot from the top of the box. But UNC didn't lose focus. Forward Casey Noguera blasted this shot for what would be the game winner. Duke's best chance to tie came in the 56th minute when Kendall Bradley put 2 close-range shots off the crossbar before UNC's Ashlyn Harris covered the ball, and the Lady Heels went on to win 2-1.
I think the team's kind of coming together more towards, we're kind of starting to get our flow back into how Carolina's supposed to play, its reputation. So hopefully we'll just keep doing well.
In the second game of the soccer doubleheader, the men's team also faced off against Duke. The match drew more than 4,700 fans, the largest crowd in UNC men's soccer history, and as expected, the rivalry was intense as the referee gave 5 players yellow cards. The score was tied after 90 minutes and the game goes to overtime, and in the second overtime, a corner kick bounces around the box. Defender Ryan Adelaide flicks it in for the win, and here's Adelaide getting mobbed by teammates as UNC goes on to beat those dastardly Devils 1-0.
A huge win for us, not just because it was Duke, but the timing was great, and we're going to continue to win after this. I can guarantee you that.
The Summer Olympics in Beijing will host a new event, a 10K open water swim, and the gold medal winner could come from right here in Chapel Hill. Allow me to introduce you to one of UNC's top swimmers and an Olympic hopeful, Chip Peterson. Why walk the dog when you can swim with the dog? That's what Chip Peterson has done since he was a child.
Growing up, my parents actually started me swimming. It made sense. We actually lived on the water, so they just didn't want me to drown.
Chip's backyard overlooks Bogue Sound, the place where he hones his open water skills, but not until after getting a few tips from his father.
Keep your eyes open for the jellyfish, steer around it if you can, watch out for the turtles, don't get caught on a hook, don't hit a piling. There's a lot of common sense that it comes along with this.
That common sense in open water helps Chip's self-discipline in the pool. Just ask his head coach.
he goes, and it's consistent in a practice, it's consistent in a day, in a week, a season. There aren't many days where Chip doesn't work at his capacity.
Chip shows persistence in the pool, but he prefers water without walls.
I really feel comfortable in that situation. I think that's more the difficulty that some people face when they switch over to open water is they just don't like it. Like they sort of feel out of place in open water. Like there's something gonna get them, they can't see the bottom, and I'm really okay with that. Like it's not that scary to me.
Apparently not. He has a table of trophies, an overflowing mass of medals, and a very proud mother.
A lot of small children say, I'm going to the Olympics someday, or I'm going to be president. But my child not only said he's going to the Olympics, but he's almost certainly going to actually do that.
Chip's track record certainly indicates potential Olympic success. 2 years ago, he won this first-place medal in the Open Water World Championships in Montreal. A few months later, he came to a thrilling realization regarding his backyard hobby.
I just won the event that's going to be in the Olympics in 3 years. Like, this could not have worked out any more perfectly.
Chip will go to Fort Myers, Florida this weekend, trying to survive the first cut on the road to making the U.S. Olympic team. And of course, Carolina Week Sports will let you know how he does. And one more quick mention before I go. Field hockey team 16-0 after a victory over Virginia this past weekend, hopefully on the road to a national title.
Outstanding. Good for them.
Thanks, Mark. Well, we count on them to be there when we need help.
But coming up, it's who we're counting on that might surprise you.
The bottom line probably is that I love Chapel Hill. I make sure Chapel Hill grows and still remembers the little things.
I help pave the way for cyclists.
I make Chapel Hill great for all kinds of families.
I help you get to where you need to go.
Hey, I keep Chapel Hill moving.
I keep our water safe and clean.
You can make a difference working on one of the town's boards or commissions.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
When you see an ambulance speeding down the street, the last thing you imagine is a college student in the driver's seat. Amanda Pittman tells us more and more young people are taking on this important role.
The next time you have to pull over for an ambulance, try looking in the window as the vehicle races by you. You might just recognize one of your classmates as the driver.
Most students are just trying to get through school and boost their resumes, but students at the South Orange Rescue Squad are volunteering in the community and saving lives.
The 40 students who work as EMTs for the South Orange Rescue Squad are lacing up their boots and taking real-world experience to a whole new level.
They're all active volunteers on the rescue division and EMS division, and also the leadership here is also a lot of student-run.
Trainees ride as a third person on the ambulance for 6 months, after which supervisors cut them loose to run as full-fledged EMTs. Students like Audrey Sanford use EMS experience to help them get into medical school and separate their applications from thousands of others. But she says that it's not just about the resume, it's about the rush too.
Well, obviously you get the call and you know you have to hurry, especially a code 3. You drive lights and sirens, you drive real fast. And you get that rush, kind of the blood pumping, and you get the white knuckles on the steering wheel.
Sanford says some patients, especially the elderly, are surprised by how young the EMTs are, but their age doesn't keep these students from working hard to make a difference in Orange County. In Carrboro, I'm Amanda Pittman, Carolina Week.
Well, I know as a student, I definitely can't imagine volunteering for the EMT as well.
Yeah, big time commitment.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.